Hello everyone, hi, welcome back to another of my YouTube videos. So firstly, I would like to apologize for not being able to post a video last week. I had some problems, personal problems regarding, COVID and my thesis and all that. So I actually had some couple of weeks that were tough, but I am here. I am finally able to film video, and I hope that in the future I can have everything sorted out so it doesn't become too much and I can't do anything, but that doesn't matter right now. Right now I'm gonna do my monthly review, the books that I've read this month, and I actually did pretty well, I think, because I was able to read at least 10 or 12 books, I don't know, we can count it by the end, but I was able to read a lot of books this month, and a lot of good books actually. The first book that I've read, I read 2 books at the beginning of January. The first one was The Invisible Life of LaRue by Schwab. I already did a book review on this book, so I will not dwell on it too much, but it is amazing. I actually highly recommend this book. It's an amazing story, well written. She surprised me so much, and the story is so good. I mean, yeah, it's a masterpiece without joking. So I actually bought this version because I read on Goodreads the reviews and the synopsis, and I thought, yeah, that's the kind of book that I would like to have on my shelf. So I bought this version, I've read it, and I could not recommend this enough. It's an amazing book and I loved it. So this was one of my first reads this month, and the other one was an ebook that I actually already deleted because it was not that good. It was The Fallen by C.M. Crawford, and even though, I mean, I loved the other books that she wrote, but that one was actually not that good, and I actually feel like it was 2.5, 3 out of 5. It was a lot of bad decisions in that book. I think the writing style was good. I mean, not that excellent, but not that bad. It was good. And my problem was with the story itself. So I actually feel like it had a lot of potential, but it was so bleh, so boring in most part of the book, and then you had some smutty scenes, and then that's it. So yeah, I actually deleted it because I felt like, yeah, I don't want that in my in my e-reader. So I deleted that one, even though I knew that I would actually have to review it. And yeah, that's me. So then I read the Deviant King by Rina Kent, and it was actually another that was like a 3 out of 5. I actually don't have it all for the same reason. So even though Rina Kent is a well-known smut writer, so she actually writes adult books and usually adult romance books, I was actually very intrigued in reading the book and the Royal Elite series. So I kind of started with the Deviant King, and I hate it. Guys, even if you like adult romance books, read the trigger warnings, because the book has a lot of abuse, like sexual abuse, physical abuse, and it's about bullying. So it was not my cup of tea, and I read it all, even though I was like, ugh, most of the time. I read it all, but yeah, it's not for me at all. But yeah, so that one was actually 3 out of 5 because it was not that good, but it was not that bad. I mean, the problem is with me, not with the book, so I can't review something that I know for a fact that it's not that bad. It's just not the right book for me. I've read was Tricky Magic by L.L. Campbell, and so I'm actually trying to open it. it's Tricky Magic by L.L. Campbell. And yeah, this one was actually a 5 out of 5. And even though, you know, it's a fantasy novel with, you know, witches and demons, and she's a powerful witch, but she doesn't know how to control her powers, and you do have a lot of smut sex scenes, so it's an adult dark fantasy kind of thing, and I really liked it. I really liked the approach. I can't wait to read the next one. And yeah, I actually highly recommend, because if you like vampires and demons, and vampires, not werewolves, and demons and sex and witch, well, that book was it's good. It's a good book. It's fast. It's like 200-300 pages, so you can read it like in 2 days or something like that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Another one that I read, it's also supernatural, because I read Turkey Magic and I was like in that zone, in that vibe. I actually found this one by Kelly King, The Bloody Kingdom, and I already know that you have the second book already available, so I will read the second book in February or in March, probably, because I have some. I don't know if you guys are like me, but I usually like to plan my readings, and I always end up reading something new, because I'm a moody reader. I have moods, and yeah, that usually don't work with planning, but I always like to have like 3-4 books read in the month. So yeah, that's usually what I do, but sometimes it doesn't work. Actually, in January it worked, but that's because I was like, okay, I need to set the bar down, and I planned like 3 books, and then I read the others, so maybe that's a way of doing it. I don't know, but it worked. So the other book that I've read this month was Pride and Premeditation. If my e-reader, my Kobo collaborates with us, we can see it. Okay, it's here. Why aren't you working? Yeah. Pride and Premeditation by Tirza Prince. Tirza? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. I'm terrible at that. Sorry. But this actually was so fun, guys. I'm a Jane Austen fan, as you can see, and I absolutely adore Pride and Premeditation, Pride and Prejudice, and Sense and Sensibility. It's actually my favorite books, my favorite classic books. And when I saw this one, Pride and Premeditation, I was like, yeah, I need to read it. It's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but as if Bennet's family, so all of them, or more correctly, Mr. Bennet and Elizabeth, are detectives, even though Elizabeth is not a detective because she's a woman. In the, you know, with all of those social norms associated with that sentence. So being a woman, what does that mean? But yeah, she actually has a very good detective skills, but usually are the men that take the men in their father's company that take credit for her work. And she actually wants to prove herself to her father, and that's when she meets Mr. Collins. And Mr. Darcy is actually a lawyer from the other enemy company, so it's actually pretty interesting. And you do have the quick remarks that are similar to Jane Austen's book. And yeah, if you like classics and you like Jane Austen's, that book is amazing, and it was so fun to read, and I cannot recommend it enough. So the next book that I've read was actually this one, Empire of Sin, also by Irina Kent, and it came out in January 2022. And I was like, yeah, even though I don't like the Deviant King, I really think that she has potential, and I really want to give the author another chance. So I decided to read Empire of Sin. That's the Empire collection, I think that's how you say it. And you guys, okay, let's say this again. It's an adult book, so 18 plus. It's romance. It has mention of mafia. It's amazing, but it's not fantasy. It's more contemporary adult book. So bear that in mind if you don't like, you know, smutty scenes or even explicit sex scenes, because the book has like a lot. If you don't like them, don't read it. If you do like them, read it. And yeah, you can see that it's a different type of conversation that we should be having when we are reviewing, you know, a fantasy book and a contemporary book, because they are two different genres. So I think that enemies to the Empire of Sin is good because it's an enemies to lovers. It has a lot of tropes that I personally like boss employee, enemies to lovers, you know, and the sex scenes that I really thought it were very well described, even though that's not what I look for in a book. But the book is actually good and has potential because it also has plot, so it's not just smutty scenes, tropes, and that's it. It does have a plot there. So I think that if you guys are into it, go check it out because it's worth it. Okay, another of my favorite books of January 2022 was this one, The Lost Apothecary. This is actually a 5 out of 5. Again, it's contemporary, it's romance, it's finding yourself. It's about finding yourself when your life is crumbled down. And I really thought that Sarah Penner actually delivered a very interesting and different book, because it's not that boring lovers, and that's no, it's about three different women in three different stages of their lives and how they are affected and, you know, negative affected by men. And I think that Sarah actually was able to make us feel bad for the main characters, because we do know that the main character is, how do I say this? It's killing men, because she can actually she sells poison to women in some specific situations, and you do know that, okay, then that means that she's a killer. So yeah, but at the same time you don't feel like she's a killer. You feel like she does have a reason, and you feel like, I think that Penner actually was able to make us see the humanity of it, you know, like you can actually feel bad for the main character and understand why she does what she does, even though it's not justified, you know, morally speaking. You do understand why she is doing what she's doing, and I think that the book is very interesting to put things in perspective in the question what it means to be a woman, and how can men affect us, and what does it mean when we are born to be in a role that we don't ask for as women, and we are supposed to be those caretakers and those that are concerned or are able to give something to another, and all of a sudden realize that another is actually the one that is harming you. So I think that the book does that very well, like put everything in perspective, and I really enjoy that because of that. And the last three readings that I did in January, okay, the last two I'm still doing them, but I will go back. My favorite book of January, let's put it like that, my favorite book of January was this one. The Love Hypothesis. So everyone is raving about this book and saying it's amazing. Guys, it is. It's worth the hype, trust me. I mean, I have the ebook, I already bought the book version, and I know that they will translate it to Portugal by Desrotina, so that's the publisher that is actually translating, and they will publish it in March, and I will buy the Portuguese version because this book is amazing. It's not enemies to lovers, it's kind of like a strangers to lovers kind of thing, And so Olive, the main character, actually needs to pretend that she has someone for a best friend to start dating her ex-boyfriend, because her best friend thinks that she likes her boyfriend, that she still likes her boyfriend, even though Olive doesn't like her boyfriend anymore. So she actually randomly kisses a guy, and that guy ends up to be Dr. Adam Carlson, and they actually ended up fake dating. So you have like a fake dating trope, strangers to lovers trope, which is very interesting because I think that Hazelwood, the author, was able to reflect. She works in academia, and as she was able to write down every single thing that we as researchers feel, in the sense that even though we don't have like an Adam Carlson, most of us, we do have those fears and that insecurity that Olive does have. And I think she was very, very good at describing that. And you do have like chemistry, you have that chemistry between Olive and Adam, and that those quick remarks that I absolutely adore, when like characters are always baiting each other and always bickering at each other. I love it, and it was so good. I mean, I read the book in like one day. I actually, my eyes hurt when I stopped reading, because I was like this for so long, like, and I actually giggled, and I was super entertained, and I guys, it is worth the hype. So The Love Hypothesis is probably my favorite book of January, and one of my favorite books of 2022. I know it's still early to say that, but I'm pretty sure there's no other book that will beat The Love Hypothesis right now. I mean, probably Carson City too, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm not 100% sure how it goes. So this is the final book that I'm reading. It's The Realmbreaker by Victoria Iverhart. As you can see, I'm still in the beginning, and that's really bad. So this is the first book that I've read from Victoria, even though I know that she wrote The Red Queen, and I think that the book is actually a really good one. Even though she wrote that, I haven't read it yet. Sorry, I will, I promise, one day. But I saw this one and I asked as a Christmas gift, and it's being difficult to read. I mean, I get it. I think I saw reviews and the book is good and blah 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 blah, but the beginning, I mean, I will probably do a review about this book, because I think that I can't be the only one feeling like this. The beginning is so boring. It doesn't work. I think that this beginning is a bad one, because she actually starts by telling us a specific story in the prologue, and then it moves to another character in chapter 1, and then it moves to another character in chapter 2, the same character of the prologue. So you're actually moving around, and it works if we are talking about a movie, or, you know, in visual terms, it works, but in a book, it can be kind of confusing. So I'm kind of like trying to pass that phase where I feel like the book isn't, I mean, it's not that bad, but it's my it's a personal problem. But yeah, I think the book should have been written, or at least the beginning should have been written with a different setting in mind, probably, with a different structure in mind. That's the correct thing that I would like to say. But yeah, probably it's a good book. I mean, Victoria Aveyard Javier is well known, so it's probably a problem, me problem, more than a book problem. But yeah, I'll let you know as soon as I finish it, probably tomorrow, let's hope. And then this one was supposed to be my last book, A Ruin of Roses by Kiev Breen, but I was supposed to do read along with a friend of mine, with also a bookstagrammer, very cute, and she's super nice, and she's called Iman, and we were supposed to do a read along, but she isn't able to do it right now because she's finishing her thesis and she's actually doing her registration to move to the UK, so she can't actually be reading a lot of things right now, and I totally understand. I mean, we do have a lot of stress time sometimes, so I actually will postpone this one, even though it was planned. I will postpone this one for a time when she does have time, because I would like to have a read along with her. I think that we both would have a lot of fun reading these books together. So guys, that's it. I actually don't know how many books I've read in January, but will probably be 10 or 8. I think it was 10, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me just count. Okay, it was how many? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was 10. My book reviews. It was 10, so I actually read 10 books in January. That's a lot. How did I do that? What? I know that January always feels like a longest month of the year, but how? But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you guys have read any of these books, and if you did enjoy the book, please let me know. But if you did enjoy the video, please give a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be very much pleased, and follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Bye.